Chai 5 Jeff from 2 Hacks Garage. Well, back at Micah's shop, it's in one of those nights of Nights of the Miscellaneous. I've said it a million times, but all the small things truly add up. What you see Micah doing right now, he's trying to fit a radiator and a Durali dual fan setup in here. I did the same thing with my Thunderbird. While the radiator is a direct replacement unit, the fan setup, it's not. So there is going to be some modifications need to be made to that. So like I said, all the little things really do add up. Things pop up that take additional time. This is one of them. And another thing I'm going to be working on tonight is also that intake. We got more work to do on that. And really anything else that pops up. So I'm going to say it again, and I'll keep on saying it. All the little things add up. They take extra time. Things are always going to pop up where you got to modify, change things, spend more time than you initially thought. So with that, guys, I've been rambling enough. We're going to work on Project 9194, that soon-to-be slick and quick LS swap 1991 Chevy Silverado. But with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get to work because we have a whole lot of stuff to do before we can start wiring on this and get it fired. So with that, we'll see you soon. All right, so this is one of those moments, guys, where it's obviously 100 steps forward and a couple steps back. So like I said, Micah did get a nice Champion radiator for this. It's a direct replacement. However, the fan system's not. So normally the brackets used on these, you'd have enough of this lip on top of the radiator to actually bolt to. This one is very shallow. So we're going to design our own way to do this. And what you saw was this factory shroud. It's plastic. It was broken up in pieces and we cut it. We're not actually using that. We're using it as a template. So kind of what we got going on is we're designing almost like a clamp style system here that'll hold it into place. And there was this factory shroud that had this in here that ended up clamping it here. So we're just using this as a template to get all of that factory style stuff to hold it in place, while this is clamped here so it can be removed separately from everything and kind of like hide all this and make it look nice. Mike has got a really good friend that's really big into metal fabrication. So like I said, sometimes, I think I put this in a previous video where it says if anybody builds a hot rod and they say they didn't have to modify anything, just, you know, kick them right where it hurts really bad because they're lying. There's always going to be modification. Obviously, this truck was born with a 305, and now it's got a much more modern LS in it. So this is one of those times where you have to modify, put your brain to work, and figure out what's the best economical way to do this. So with that, Mike, I think you and I got some thinking to do on this one.
We'll figure it out. This piece of plastic, we can modify it to make it work, but we're putting all this time into this and making this thing look good under the hood. I was just like, I'm not going to settle for this cheap piece of plastic that could be modified, so it just looked like you kind of gave up on it. So now we'll figure out something. I'll contact my friend and get him out here and get his 2 cents on it, and we'll figure something out that'll look clean and slick. So we'll figure it out.
So might not look like we're making a whole lot of headway on this. We are, because it's, you know, one of those nights where we just had extra time, and behind us, Jeffrey doesn't have anything going on with one of his 500 girlfriends. So we got him sanding on an intake manifold, so that we got to get that done too. So we're going to go ahead and brainstorm and do some more thinking. So we'll see you here in a few minutes. Well, we're going to call that a wrap. This is actually reality when it comes to automotive YouTube. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of channels that are large and they do pump out great work, but it's always like that 45-minute video, they start with an absolute pile of crap. At the end of the video, it's 100% done and redone. A lot of stuff they don't show you sometimes is the stuff that kind of sets you back or takes the time. We had every intention with some extra time tonight to get that radiator mounted. And we ran into things like we did with the T-Bird and like any common project out there where it doesn't go as planned. You kind of have to pause, think outside the box. And in this case, Micah is going to have a friend of his come out that's a fabricator and build a mount for that radiator. So you know what we did is we stopped and we just started working elsewhere. Little items here and there. he had to tighten up some screws and stuff like that in the steering. But you know what? I'm going to actually let him explain that all.
Yeah, so like I said, we came out here tonight. I was hoping to do a little bit, achieve more than what we did, but, you know, it is what it is tonight, like Jeff explained. So what we did up there on the steering shaft, it's got, it's a shaft to eliminate the rag joints, which is basically for an S10. So, but it's got a bunch of grub screws, you want to call them, and with a locking nut. So went those, took all those off, put blue Loctite on them, on the nuts, on the threads of everything, just so we can secure, because that's the last thing you want is your steering coming apart. So tightened all those up. Then we, like I said, we messed around with that radiator, got so far, but we did get the overflow tank mounted. Woohoo, big deal. But like I said, it's reality. You know, some of the stuff takes longer than you think. It may be simple to try to, you know, hey, we're just going to get these parts thrown on tonight. And well, like I said, I was hoping for a lot more, and we didn't really get there.
We didn't get there, but every little thing does add up. Like Micah said, overflow, you know, that's something small, takes time. Putting a rear drive shaft in, guess what? Takes time. Putting a fuel pump in, because it did convert it over to that LS, so he needed a different, you know, fuel pump. That takes time. Every little thing takes time and adds up. And I do know pretty soon Micah and we want to get the rest of the brakes plumbed up, and we also want to get this exhaust out and get the bungs put in and a lot of other stuff done. So we kind of prep some of that work just so when we get here, we can actually bang out and get that done. Another thing that takes time, you saw my son, Jeffrey, he was sanding on that intake manifold. We originally got it done. Micah and I were not 100% happy with it, so we sanded it back down, and we're going to start over. Again, takes time. Again, it's one of those things where you kind of have to redo some things. And that's just the reality of the automotive world. And a lot of times it's not shown on YouTube, but you know what? We're going to show it because it's the truth of the matter. It's, you know, you can't have every 100 steps forward without a couple steps
I mean,
back.
we even talked this out and had a plan together what we were doing for tonight. And like I said, it just, you know, had good intentions, but, you know, it just didn't happen tonight.
Nope.
I think things went well and things didn't. So, I mean, it's just reality. So, like, I'm not hurt. Like I said, we're not really on a time schedule with this, but I was like, you know, drop a new plan, end of the evening, you know, tomorrow's another day and we'll move on and try it again.
And we did get some stuff done, and we did get to admire how beautiful this is looking. I took some pictures. I'll throw them at the end of the video. So, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been a fun night. Got some stuff done. A little bit of setbacks. Who cares? We're going to move past it. We're going to move forward. We're going to turn those lemons into lemonade. And Micah, I think next week, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag, but him and I are going to go do something really cool, automotive related. And we're going to do a lot more work on this because we want to be able to make this thing a driver and have a whole lot of fun in it. With that, we're going to say good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.